looked at this and I got confused between these two different ones, but this is a yearly thing. And when you said share costs during the summer, then that piqued my interest. Having a yearly thing did not pique my interest.
Do you want me to talk to them and negotiate or not?
I will wait to hear everybody else because I don't want to be a yearly thing. I don't think we need somebody yearly.
Well, 10 hours a week, excuse me.
All right, Kathy, your thoughts?
Well, we've been talking a lot about, oh, I shouldn't use words like a lot. We have been talking about having a police force enforcement person for a while. And here's a way to do it. I would say, yeah, pursue discussion with him and see. You know, the winter hours, what did we say, 10 hours a week in the winter?
Yeah, because I'm assuming 30 hours between school days and activities. I mean, they've got football games, soccer games. I don't know what all an officer would have to be present for, but they've got 40 hours a week to work with. So they're going to have some flexibility if they have sporting events on Saturday.
Well, I'm just thinking that 10 hours a week in the wintertime is not a whole heck of a lot of time that we would have to provide for him, so.
No, you know, I mean, the responsibility.
We don't have a lot of people here.
The person's deputized, so they can effectively do all the traffic stuff. They can do speed stops if we want them to. They can do the house checks. I mean, it's a regular police officer. So, you know, 10 hours a week, there is some flexibility as to what you may have them do during that time.
Right.
Jason.
I would say no. I thought we put this to bed 3 months ago when we all voted on this. I think 10 hours a week in wintertime is ridiculous. So I say no.
Okay.
10 hours which way, Jay?
10 hours in the wintertime,
Is too much time?
there's nothing going on here in the wintertime. Yeah. I just don't think we need one.
I agree.
All right. Alan?
I like the idea. This is a deal, by the way. I mean, we don't have to provide the car and anything else with regard to the uniforms and things like that. You know, about a week and a half ago, a vehicle came by my house that I didn't recognize, and I live in the woods. And turned around a little because I couldn't go any further and came out. Then I saw that vehicle again, and it had nothing to do with any construction that was going on in our property. And then I left for East Lansing at 5:30 in the morning on Saturday, and I'll be darned if there was that vehicle again. And it wasn't on our property, it was just outside our gate. And it went down to the end and turned off onto Crestwell Road and stopped. And it's dark. And I've got to be in East Lansing, so I kept going. Then I got on US 31, and then all of a sudden that vehicle passed me and was shooting past me with the flurried weather that we had. It was a truck, and it was suspicious. I have no idea. There might have been all sorts of reasons why that vehicle was there. So that was winter, and not good driving at all. And I wondered because we're very aware of people that come onto our property. I mean, everyone is, and that lives there. And what I'm getting at is, okay, so we don't need them in the wintertime. But have you looked at this lately, this situation with the people that move into your house in the wintertime and you can't get them out? I mean, it's happening all over the country. What do you call them? Squatters, yes. And we had somebody who lived over in just behind us here in a house for a while. So I think that, you know, the police car being present here is not a bad idea. We have very few homes for sale anymore. We have full-time people here that were not here occupying and doing their work out of their homes. We have more little kids doing all sorts of things over here because their families are here and their parents are working out of their house. So that to me is a wintertime kind of thing. In the summer, of course, the day park, it definitely needs to have some kind of, that presence is very important. I think it'd give us just a little bit of an edge. I think there's a lot of questions to answer with regard to this, but I like the idea of a police officer, and people know there's a police officer in Torch Lake Township. We've
Right.
been through COVID. We had so much crap go on into COVID, especially at the day park, which was awful at the beginning when we couldn't open it up. Anyways, I'm in favor.
All
I'm in
right,
favor of looking at it, and I would go yearly.
two and two. I agree. I knew there'd be a price to pay, but, I've paid it a few times. I agreed. I told them my concern was 10 hours in the wintertime, and that's 10 hours per week. So we're talking, 40 hours for a month in our township. Now, what I am banking on in just discussing with him further is whether or not the school activities will eat up some of that time. Because if the school activities don't, and we've got to take the 10 hours, then I think that's a problem. I guess we ran out of juice? No?
Or more.
So,
Our time is up.
so I would just like to discuss it further. There are a lot of questions. I agree. And I think the summertime would be a huge plus for us. But it's that winter carryover that, it's 10 grand. Now, when we talked about doing it on our own, we were looking at $100,000 or more to do it. And I think the community, at least for the people that were there, said, no way. But if you can figure out how somebody else is in charge of all the paperwork and running the thing, then give it some thought. So I'll throw the vote to continue to discuss it, but my feeling is just a gut feel. I don't think he's going to find anybody. I just don't think so, but I'll at least open it up for a little more dialogue with him, give him a chance.
You gotta remember, like, in the wintertime, the nature preserve and the day park don't even get plowed. So, I mean, there's nobody even going there.
That's true. I mean, we have talked about, how do you eat up time? I'd rather try to eat up 40 hours in a month than 40 hours a week. So at least I will give them a call and just say, hey, we've got a lot of questions. We'd like to continue the dialogue, and let's see what.
So can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
So this person is not going to be working for the Central Lake Village. They will be working for the schools?
I'm not sure how.
Maybe the village can pick up on some hours that they need in the winter, and then the
Well,
schools.
They've got an established guy already.
Right, but I mean, maybe he always wanted a second person.
And that's a possibility. But see, I don't know that until I talk to him.
Right,
Which is why I
so-
wanted the chance.
So Central Lake has a police officer on duty and they want a second one to patrol the school?
No, well, they went for a grant.
Yeah.
So that's different than the village paying for it.
So I know, but what you're saying is basically there'd be two police officers.
Two officers for them
So the officer that's on duty
is not
is,
going to do public school work, which he does now.
It all depends on how long the grant is, and it's hard to
Right.
get somebody on for a year and then the grant's gone or
And we don't
whatever.
have to worry about it.
Yeah.
We only have to worry about as long as they keep it if we were to participate. If we don't participate, then if they don't get any more grant money, that person is gone. So, all we're doing is saying, hey, if you can find somebody that will take care of the schools, we can pick up a few hours over here. That's basically what they're asking us to do. So, I will pursue that, and we'll move on to the next one. Implementing the credit card. We mentioned that last time, and we happen to have put in our policy book, which I enclosed, a credit card policy for us. It's really run by the clerk. And the treasurer has a part in this. And since we passed the policy, we don't have to vote on the policy. All we need to do is have a consensus that we want to implement the policy. So I'll start with Jason. Any objection to starting a credit card policy?
Absolutely not.
All right, thank you. Alan? No? Sharon?
Nope.
Kathy?
No.
All right, then the next steps there is for Kathy and Sharon to get together and let's get a credit card from company, work with Ted to see what might be the best credit card for him, because it's going to be Ted using most of it.
So we got a debit card, right? From
We're not using that debit card.
But we've got one, correct?
We have a debit card, we're talking a credit
From
card.
Alden, but now this is a credit card.
Correct.
Understood.
All
Just
right.
Clarifying.
All right, the,
Well, Ted we want to use an Amazon type of thing because we always had the Amazon and the line of credit. So it's a credit card there. But what we're looking for is a credit card through like a bank, like Alden Bank, MasterCard, Visa card, whatever, so that we can pay your bill for your camera thing and all that sort of stuff.
the
So,
idea is that
right.
it's
So
not a card that the person keeps. The card is in the clerk's
Right.
office and you come
Right.
and use it when you need it.
right, right,
And then we get the receipts and we get it reconciled, and we got control over it.
right.
All right, good. Last item.
So
Uh,
applications.
I teed this up because Alan notified us that he wasn't doing the bank statement any longer. Jason came to me and said that he was willing to pick that up. So as far as I'm concerned, my issue is the fact that we do not have an independent review of the bank statements or the invoices, because we could have invoices that are new and they should be reviewed to make sure they're appropriate. But as long as we get the bank statements reviewed on a monthly basis, then I'll figure out how to get the invoices done. So with that, I will ask for any board comments. We'll start with Sharon.
What's the road work? You didn't do F.
Oh, information only. You're right. Thanks, Kat. Bert and I went around the roads. There is a new schedule from what was done. There's going to be a lot more chip and seal, which is significantly less in money. We took a drive around Old Mission Estate. There's quite a few building lots left there, and there's quite a few homes. There's about 19 homes, I think, is what I counted. To pave that, Bert said that the existing road is, it's a dirt road, but it's quite solid and would provide a very good base to put a paving on top, the blacktop. And so he was going to work up a number on that. Stone Circle, he did not want to do for paving because there's construction. There's a home permit going up there, and there's a couple other lots now for sale. He's going to use limestone gravel. He says it fits together tighter, and we would get probably 2 or 3 years out of it. So we could, that's about $30,000 to put that gravel down, and it's good for a couple years, so no, we don't have to worry about paving that. I've gotten letters on both of these places to get paving done. So Lower Road, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. It's up there with Banks. There's a sinkhole starting to form at the area. It's probably 100, 125 feet width-wise, plus width of the road.
Around the corner or the
Yeah,
straightaway?
It's in the straightaway. Then once you get past that, then it's a chip and seal type deal, but that's going to be a joint venture with us and Banks. So I told him that sinkhole, we got to fix that, or it's going to be even more when it does fall apart. So ballpark, we put 50,000 in for that. Barnes Road right now, He was going to go back and look. There's some pavement that's falling apart, so that's going to require base work. But there's only 2 or 3 sections, and those sections might be 50, 60 feet in length. So he's trying to figure out how does he fix that and do the other stuff kind of easily. And there's 2 sections. As you come all the way down the hill and you make the right turn on Northwest Drive, they did something with that a number of years ago, and that's falling apart now. So he would take the chip and seal down there to try to fix that. So that's why I have 2 estimates. The bottom part of the hill, and you would go maybe a quarter of a mile, and there's a post, and you'll see where the road looks a whole lot better than the other section. So that's probably 75 to 80,000. And from the bend in the curve all the way back to 31 is roughly 141,000. And he thinks he might be able to get it under that. So that basically would take this year's dollars. Now, the good thing is we went through and we looked at all the other streets that you see in 2024. He drove all those. He checked the cracks. Only in a couple places did his knife go into the support, the gravel. He said we can chip and seal all those things. They're good for 5 to 7 years. And so that's the same thing with the some of the recent roads, which you'll see in 2026. We'll chip and seal those. And then the major work that we have to do is in 2025. So balancing the cash flow out and stuff, he thinks we can address all of our roads. We can put the pavement in for that neighborhood. He thinks it will enhance the property values as well as hopefully sell some of those other lots for us. And I think it's pretty good layout for us. The only year that will be tight will be 25, and we'll do what we have done in the past. We'll borrow from the general fund until we collect the taxes in December, because the work will be done in mid-year. You can see the cash flow at the bottom, where in 22 we had an excess of 261 as a cash balance. After we spend the money of 500,000 in 23, we'll have 95,000 balance. When we do the work in 24, because it's chip and seal, we'll end up with a carryover 140,000. 25 will run a small deficit, and in 26 we'll end up with 257,000 to carry over, because if you look, the mileage is only 1.7 miles in the chip and seal in 26. So the total amount that we'll get, which is roughly 338,000 roughly, we'll be able to carry a lot of that over. My assumptions are 5% cost increase and 2.5% millage increase. So I think my millage is probably low. We ought to have a decent increase at the next, when we get the numbers in December. Inflation's running an average of 4 to 5%. So we'll get somewhere in that neighborhood. And that will add some extra dollars, probably 50,000, 40,000 a year. So I think we're in good shape for the roads. Now, it's up to the board. I can bring this plan as an official strategy, and we can talk about it at the next board meeting. I would suggest we just wait until Bert gets back to us with the final dollars, and then we can decide if we want to spend the money this way.
Does he have any plan for ditches cleaning?
Not that we discussed.
I've seen none in the township for years. I mean, he used to. And that all relates to the roads.
I can ask him. I'll ask him.
They're overgrown. They're some of the what do you call the pipe underneath?
Culvert.
Culverts are above grade, above water level now. And when they're
Yeah, we saw a few of those. What road did we go down?
But that's, it's not our job, but I don't know if they've got the money to do it.
I know they dug the ditch there by Mark White's last summer, all the way along 31. They were digging those ditches out.
Well, he
Yes,
told,
you're right, yes.
as a for instance, he told me on Old Missions Estate that they would do the ditches at the bottom and because the one road, I forget which one it is, has a hill, slight incline, decline, whichever way you're coming. And he said, we'll have to dig that out and look for the culverts because he think there's probably culverts buried under there. There was another street, it was up near your neck of the woods, that he thought was okay, but that the ditches need dug out because on the right-hand side of the road, as you're going north, it was real swampy and it was almost level with the road. So there's some risks there. All right, so I'll wait to hear from him on that. Thanks, Kat, for reminding me. So
Let me ask, Sharon, is that county road back in your place? Is that a private road or county roads on your sub?
Private.
Private, okay.
you know we'd hear about that if it wasn't.
Okay.
Well, I'm trying, how do you get a private road to become public?
A lot of money, a lot of money.
Is your circle plowed by, you're not plowed by
It's
the
got a
county?
green signs, but everybody tells me it's private.
Yeah,
Should be blue signs, right?
it should be a blue sign.
They're green.
No.
I want pavement.
All right, so, board, that completes our night. Board comments,
Citizen
None.
comment.
citizen comment. Do we have citizen comment? No citizen comment.
No?
Yours, board? Sharon?
I don't have anything to say, except that you made a comment that Jason's going to look at bank statements. Is that what you're?
Yes.
Alan's been doing it since September of 2021. Was there a problem, Alan, or? Okay, okay. I just want, in case something was needed to be done, so.
You didn't find any problems?
No, I just don't, no problem with what's there.
Okay, okay.
All right. All right. Kath?
No.
I've got nothing, Jason.
I got two things.
What?
Who gets to keep the miles from our new credit card?
We will be getting discounts on purchases.
And my other question is when you ride around with Bert Thompson,
Yeah.
I would recommend having a coffee cup, and every time the coffee spills, then we know we need to get the roads done.
You know,
Barnes Road,
Come down my road then.
yeah, your pop will go flat down some of those roads.
Bert's pretty good. He was looking at whatever they call these spider things on the road. He gets out with that knife to see if it's all the way through or not. I mean, there's no fooling around with him. And yes, I kept the coffee cup in the holder.
I have one comment that I should have made that I didn't. I forgot. Reminder that next month's meeting is the 4th Tuesday of the month.
April 25th.
Mm.
April 25th.
That was decided in the, so I know.
That was one of my comments.
Oh, I'm sorry. I am sorry. I had it
That's
written
all right,
down.
Sharon. I know how you like those public announcements.
I had it written down and I just kind of went on. So thank you.
There.
Ellen, any? 25th.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Any any board comment, Alan? All right, thank you, board. I call this meeting, what? What?
Well, I made a mark on for those that care, the zoning board of appeals meeting in April has been canceled. It was posted and now it's canceled. So that's all.
And it's 9:12.
I adjourn the meeting. Thank you guys for hanging in there.